What up, gang? So today we're going to talk a little bit about security. Also, we're going to dive into your wallets, how to keep them secure. But first, before we do that, let's wish Richard Hart a happy birthday. As y'all know, Richard is the founder of Hex, and today is his birthday.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to Supreme Ruler me.
Yeah, so happy birthday, Richard. So let's get started. The first thing that we need to know about crypto and saving your money securely is we need to keep our money in wallets. Most people, they kind of take things for granted because they store their money on exchanges. Exchanges have wallets as well, but you need a wallet that is decentralized and one that you can keep your money so that if anything ever happens to an exchange, you'll be able to keep your money in that decentralized wallet of yours and always have access to it. So that's the first rule, right? Keeping your money in your own wallet. And today I'm going to show you how to do that and how to be secure. So to the next point of that, we're going to talk a little bit about hardware wallets. Hardware wallets are basically USB looking type devices that help to keep your money secure, as they don't do transactions online until you have basically pressed the buttons on the device, right? And we're going to talk about those passwords as well. So definitely when you have these little USB sticks, they are better security than just creating a wallet itself that is always able to connect on the internet. So for these hardware wallets, these USB looking things, I only recommend, honestly, about 2 of them that are out there. But to be safe, always go with Trezor. And I'll go ahead and put that in here and we'll go to the site. There's Trezor.io, right? And you've got a couple of different treasures that you can get. But you always want to make sure that if you're going to get these hardware wallets, you go to the main site, Trezor.io, right? And then the other one being Ledger.io. And the thing about it is that you don't want to buy these from anybody else. Like, don't buy them on Amazon. Go directly to the manufacturing site, because people can scam. They can put encrypted software on there. They can put a lot of weird stuff on it. So make sure that you're buying directly from the website, So this one is Trezor. This, in my opinion, is the best right now. It has the best track record that I can think of. You don't need to really do anything fancy. You just need to get a Trezor. These wallets tend to hold a bunch of coins, so you don't even need the one that's the crazy one, right? You can see here, this is it in Brazilian reais, but I believe you can get it for about $60, $70, maybe a little bit more. Let's see if I can change this for you. Here's the prices of these Trezors. I recommend going with this $79 one, but if you don't have enough money, here's this one for $49, right? But yeah, the Trezor Set 3 or Trezor Model 1 should do you very well. So definitely get one of these Trezors if you can before starting your journey in crypto. The main reason is that this money can turn into a lot. So let's say you started out with like $5, $10, $100, and that goes to thousands of dollars. You don't want to be holding that in a crypto wallet that isn't secure. So I definitely recommend getting these hardware wallets, especially a Trezor wallet, and then making sure you start with that. I know some of y'all might not have a lot of money and you're going to try to start with crypto anyways. If you can, it is better to be on desktop, laptop, or a computer, right? Preferably a computer, right? Because that doesn't move. And you want to make sure that it is a separate laptop or computer from your daily user computer. The main reason is that you have a lot of people that could put viruses on your computer, right? Or you click a link and you don't know it has a link to a keylogger. You've got a lot of people that might want to make you click a link, and then in turns they're sending you some kind of software that will basically watch your keystrokes of your computer or get you to put in some information that they can use later on to get into your wallet. So I definitely recommend getting a hardware wallet, and also making sure that in no case after you've gotten your C phrases, right, which is basically like a set of 12 to 24 words that all wallets have, right? And you want to make sure that you never are putting these words back into your device or your program, your wallet program after the initial setup. So you should only be entering in these 12 or 24 seed phrases after the initial setup. After that, you shouldn't be entering them in anymore, right? You need to make sure that you write down these words or you store them in a very, very safe place, right? I know people that will literally put them in metal, right? Titanium metal, and then they will basically keep them in a very safe place where you don't show anybody. You're not showing your mom, your dad, you know, maybe the person that you trust the most, but these are words that should pretty much just be for your eyes and your eyes only. These 12 and 24 seed phrases are very important because if you don't have those and you end up losing your computer or whatever, you will not have access to your money again. This is basically the same story that you hear with all these so-called Bitcoin millionaires that would have been, very wealthy had they kept their seed phrases. And these seed phrases are basically used to link your account, your wallet to your seed, right? So these seed words are used to link to your seed phrases and tells you the computer that, hey, this crypto wallet belongs to this user. So you never want to ever lose those. You want to make sure that you keep them in a very safe place, right? From prying eyes. Some people, what they do, they scatter the words around different various places. And you want to make sure that you put it in like a sheet of metal or paper, but it needs to be very secure, because if you lose those seed phrases, then yeah, you're basically done. So these 12 to 24 seed phrases are very important. When you first get your wallet, you need especially your hardware wallet, you should be entering it in that one time and then not have to do it again after that initial setup. So yeah, that is very, very important. Make sure that you keep your keys. Don't give them access to anybody. I can't stress that enough. And you wouldn't even believe how many people lose their keys. The other thing that is really dangerous in crypto is social engineering. So a lot of scammers, what they do is they try to trick you into giving personal data about yourself that they can later use to talk to you, confuse you into giving them your private keys. So exchanges, they'll never ask you for your private keys or your seed phrases, your 12 to 24 words. They'll never ask that. So if you do get an email or a phone call saying it's from an exchange and they're asking you to log into an account, then most likely it's malicious, because they will never do that. So definitely be aware of that. You have a lot of fake, right, phone support, from whatever Coinbase, Binance, whatever platform or exchange, and it's just a scammer trying to get access to your money. So no matter what, disregard those type of phone calls or emails. There are a lot of these scammers use social engineering, social hacking in order to try to steal your data. So definitely watch out for that. That's a very big thing that happens in crypto. Also, you'll see certain scams like, oh, send me 5 Ethereum ETH and I'll send you 10 back. These are scams as well. Also, you have a lot of AI type videos that people are putting out for famous people asking you to do some. So don't get pulled by that. Even in chat groups or telegrams, people might act like they are someone else, like a moderator, and then they'll say, hey, I can help you. I highly recommend, if you need help and you want to get it from someone in that group, do it in an open area. So if it's the chat room, make sure you're in the main chat room getting help and not from a private message, because a lot of these scammers will private message you and act like there's somebody else that you might know in order to try to steal your money, ask you for funds, and just deceive you. So definitely watch out for that kind of stuff as well. To add, I highly do not recommend doing crypto on your phone, but just be aware that, the phone, it's easier to hack these things and also get user data for scammers. So I don't recommend phone. Try to do this on a laptop or computer that is for private use, that's just for crypto, right? And then you have your day-to-day computer in another area. But if you got to do stuff on MetaMask, just be careful. Never MetaMask on the phone. Just be careful. Don't ever take a screenshot of your private keys, either on the desktop or on your phone. Write them down and store them in a safe place because, you know, as I said, you have all these hackers that can get your sensitive information, such as photos on your phone, see your passwords, see the seed phrases that you put down or the seed words that you written or took a screenshot of, and then they can go ahead and steal your money. So I don't recommend using your phone for crypto. But if you're going to do it anyway, just try to be very secure. Make sure you're creating more than one wallet, more than one crypto wallet. Have various to mitigate risk, right? If you have only one crypto wallet and you got $100,000 in there, that money could be all gone. So even if you have the hardware wallet or you're just using a browser wallet, try to split your funds accordingly. If you're going to get into cryptos that could be even more riskier or you're not sure about them, make sure you're using a wallet that you don't care about with little money. So a lot of people, what they do, they create throwaway wallets, right? Wallets they'll never use again. So you create one of those and then you can maybe put a little money there, and that's for your degenerative gambling type wallets where you're like, okay, I might click this suspicious link, even though you shouldn't be, and just not have to worry about losing so much money. All right, enough of my blabbing. I know what y'all came here to see. Let's try to install a wallet. We'll do MetaMask, right? And then we'll go through the whole process. So if you look right here at the screen, you can see I already have another wallet called Grabby. But for this purpose, I'll go ahead and use MetaMask because MetaMask is pretty much the most known and used DeFi wallet, this decentralized wallet. So one thing to add to that is that most networks, right, if they're EVM compatible, will work with this wallet. Bitcoin will not work with this wallet, so you'll have to find another wallet to do so. As you can see, it's going to be MetaMask IO. Whoops. MetaMask.io, right? And so we're going to go to that site. Make sure that you're not using Google to go to sites on crypto. Try your best to, get the actual site, right, and put it in, because the thing with Google, a lot of scammers, they put fake links on there. And if you click it, you go to a wrong website that looks like the original, then you'll get scammed. So make sure that you're going to the correct website. This one is MetaMask.io, and this is a EVM compatible wallet, which means that any kind of coins that work with network copies of Ethereum are going to work with this type of wallet, right? And I'll show you an example just so you understand. But like PulseChain, right, that would work. Obviously, Ethereum's going to work on this as well. So let's go ahead. We'll get this started. It's on download, right? It's going to serve as an extension, smaller. I'm going to add it to our Chrome. Let it load. All right, so it's been added to our Chrome, which is awesome. Go open up automatically. You'll see this box icon right here that says let's get started. So you should be able to click on this or the pop-up when it pops up, right? So I'm going to go ahead and create a secret recovery phrase. I don't recommend using these because it ties you to your identity. So what you'll do is click that. We'll click create a new password. Like, we'll create this password. Make sure you understand this. You lose your password, you're done. Then we're gonna read this, right? It talks about securing your wallet, right? The only way you can recover is locked up as to get a new device. You know, if you do have your secret recovery phrase and you install MetaMask somewhere else, you will be able to recover your funds, and you cannot lose those. So that's basically what they're telling you. All right, so these are going to be your secret recovery phrase. These are the words I was talking about earlier in the video in order to recover your account if necessary. So you'll have for your wallet on your laptop or computer, on your Chrome browser, you'll have your MetaMask and you'll have a password that you entered in. And then if you ever need to get to the your actual wallet side, you need these recovery phrases, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and reveal them, right? Don't show these to anybody else. I am just showing you guys this dummy account to show you exactly how I would go about, creating an account. So I'm gonna go ahead and just write down these words. So I've gone ahead and I have written down my words, right? Like I said, no screenshots. We're just gonna hit continue. And then you're going to enter in your words as it shows on the display, right? So for 7, we've got a symptom, right? We're just going to enter in these words. We've got furnace as I'm looking on my sheet of paper. We've got that turn for this. Then I'm going to do continue. All right. So this is actually a lot easier than that back in the day because you had to put every single one of these 12 words before. So just keep that in mind, right? And don't show these words to anyone. I can't stress it enough. And we will, I click no on these, right? Because I don't want them doing any of my data, right? Taking any of it. I'll go to the next thing and then we'll hit done, right? So this is basically asking if you want to download the app on your phone, but we don't care for that right now. And then we're just going to hit continue. Pretty much we're done, right? So the installation is complete. And what is interesting, because it is a Chrome extension app, you can see your account here, right? Or if you click here, you can see it as well. Let me make this a little bit smaller. And what's interesting here, right? You have your public address now, address here. And this public address, you can share to people. This is what you would give people if they're trying to send you money, right? You don't want to give your private keys, but this is your public one, right? You have your account right here, right? You can add accounts under this same wallet because they all share the same seed or the root, right? So you have that. You have, this is the main that we're on. We're on the Ethereum network, obviously, right? But you can also switch the network that you're using because all of these are EVM compatible networks. It means they're basically just a copy of Ethereum, and therefore they have that same address for you. This is literally going to be the same across every network that you're using for you. So in this feature, if you wanted to send money to someone else, you could do so, right? You put in their public address and send money to them. It's really, really interesting, right? The wallet will show your balance of the coins that you have right here, right? You can even buy from the site, even though I don't necessarily recommend it, because if you're buying from MetaMask, you're going to pay more fees. Just some food for thought when you could just buy directly from some decentralized exchange, right? You have, your DeFi coins that will show you your NFTs, and then you can also see your transactions that were done on the blockchain. But simple enough, you've now got your own address, you've got your own wallet, right? Your MetaMask wallet, And now you can send money to different protocols, right? You can go to an exchange and buy a coin if you want to, right? So this Chrome extension will interact with websites that are DeFi websites, which is really awesome. So that means that your wallet will show on these sites, especially on exchanges. Matter of fact, I'll show you guys. So if we go to this site called uniswap.org, whoops, a problem with the .org. Set this load, go to this app. This is pretty much a platform for decentralized tokens to buy them on the Ethereum side of things, right? Really well known. In most cases, what you'll see on sites is a connect button, which allows you to connect your wallet to the site itself. Be careful what you're connecting and giving permissions to, because I mean, your security is very important. That's what I mean when you have very sketchy sites, you need to make sure they're correct, or else you could get your money stolen. That's why it's always important to make sure you're going to the right site, not using Google, making sure it's exactly the right site so that people don't steal your money. So we know this site is correct, app.uniswap.org. I'm going to hit connect, right? MetaMask is right here. Click on MetaMask. It'll open up this browser tab right here. We'll connect, right? And now that I am connected, if I had Ethereum, which remember in our last video, we talked about you use Ethereum for fees on the Ethereum network, but it is also a coin you can use to buy other coins, right? And let's say I just wanted to buy a coin. Let's look for, let's say some random coin. Let's say I like Uniswap. I want to buy the Uniswap. So we would put in whatever the amount of if we have, right? Cool thing is that it gives you the dollar amount. And then you can literally buy Uniswap, the coin, with the amount of ETH that you have. So, you know, I don't have enough money in this account. I just created it. So once you buy your Ethereum from your Coinbase or Binance account, your platform, you will send that to your newly created MetaMask wallet address, right? And then after that, you will have that money, that Ethereum or USDC, whatever you sent to your account, in your decentralized Ethereum-based wallet called MetaMask. And then you can use that to go to other sites and buy other coins. But yeah, I appreciate it. So let's go down through this really quick. So for security reasons, right, we don't give our passwords or anything, right? We don't give our recovery phrases to anyone, right? Can't trust people, especially in crypto, right? You want to make sure that you're not clicking crazy links, right? So that's a big one. You want to make sure that you are removing your money from centralized exchanges and sending them to your own wallet as well. And also be very cognizant of where you're sending your money. You know, once you send your money to somewhere, you can't recover it. So always make sure that you're checking to make sure the address is correct when you're sending the money, right? Also, we use hardware wallets as much as possible. If you're just starting crypto, it's better to get a hardware wallet and then start, especially if you can afford the 70 or 80 or 100 or $40 to buy one. You know, definitely recommend a Trezor. So I'll try to provide more links below, especially with more security stuff from my friends and people that are really great with security. But I really appreciate y'all just coming out. Let's get this money.